The Quinnipiac men's soccer team picked up their first conference win today, a 2-1 win over St. Peter's off the foot of Tomas Fekula in overtime. Ryan Flaherty here alongside Jonathan Banks on the rebound. Jonathan, what were your overall takeaways from today's game?
I think my overall takeaway just Quinnipiac got the job done, and that's so important in MAC play. When you think about the first half, it was humid, it was hot, it was an 80-degree day in early October, and that usually doesn't bode well for either team, and the pace was slow, as Eric DeCosta told us after the game. The pace was slow. Players weren't making those late runs from midfield or doing the extra work because they were so tired, and it was humid. But you take the first half, it was kind of a wash. The second half, Quinnipiac started to dominate as they did in the first half with possession. They found a way to get the job done. Eamon Whalen, right place, right time. We've seen this before. Late show with him, but then they concede and get switched off. But overall takeaways, they find a way to get it done in overtime. They got the job done, and that's what I'm taking away. That it's 3 points. It's the first game of the conference. That's what matters.
So you just said they grinded out their first MAC win, a back-and-forth game. What do you think was the difference today in getting the win?
I think there are two things that are the main difference. One is Bragas, and Eric DeCosta compared him to Gumby after the game, which I get the reference because he's so deceptive. He brings so much flair, and you just have to round out defensive parts of his game. But today he showed that he can do that. He blocked a few shots. He had great positional sense. And on the ball, he's the supreme decision maker. What he does with the ball at his feet, for example, rolling it to Eamon Whalen in the second half when Whalen hit the post, and then his assist to Tomas Fekula. It's just class. It's just of the highest order, and it's really well done from him. And he's growing into the game and growing into the way this game is played in America. And he's someone to really watch for, and he has a lot of talent. And looking forward to seeing him play, so that's one. And then second is just the leadership. We talk about Connor McCoy, Simon Hillinger. They organize their team the right way, and they get the job done. So those two things definitely led to it.
Moving forward in the MAC, what do you see as the most important part of this team, the most important feature moving forward?
I think it's the organization. This kind of goes along with Connor McCoy and Simon Hillinger leading the team. And Eric DeCosta always sets up his team for success with the system. And it's a player's game, as DeCosta did tell us. They got to make the right decisions on the field, but they're set up the right way. And for example, on that goal that Alex Garcia gets his head on to score for St. Peter's, they were switched off, and it's the biggest moment of the game. You clear that header, the game's over, but they were switched off. They didn't find a way to score, but they were organized enough in overtime to create the chance to win it. And that's key, just organization and being able to know when there's danger and to snuff it out. And I think they'll get better with that as the season progresses, because this is a talented team with a depth at the back line and depth everywhere. They'll find a way to get it done.
The Bobcats pick up their first win, a 2-1 victory. Up next for Quinnipiac is Marist, who you might remember they beat in the MAC semifinals right here in Hampton a year ago, and what was a great game. As one more time, Ryan Flaherty alongside Jonathan Banks. Thanks for watching The Rebound.